These 20 somethings is a podcast where I'll be sharing my experience as 20 something year old who's trying to navigate this thing called life. I'll be sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, the lessons, the silly thoughts, whatever it is I feel like a 20 something year old should know, I will be sharing. This is a space I've created for my other 20 something year olds and for them to feel and to know that they are not alone. I am your host, Goli the Creative, and welcome to these 20 somethings. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of these 20 somethings. Happy Sunday, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. You are well rested and ready to take on the new week. Thank you once again for choosing me and choosing my podcast. It really means a lot for you guys to listen, to share. It really just keeps me going. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. You guys, you excuse any weird sounds that are happening around me because I am outside. There's a full moon, and I was like, you know what, I have to record this episode outside. It just feels right. Because initially I had wanted to record it in the morning and just like watch the sun rise, but I was like, nah, like let me do it under the full moon. So please excuse any sounds you may hear. My neighbors are opening their gates, and my neighbor's dog also is just making weird sounds. So it's just a lot is happening, but please do forgive any sounds that you guys may hear besides my voice. But yes, let me just go into today's episode. So as you guys can tell by the title, this episode is gonna be about the plans, my plan versus God's plans, and my plans versus God's plans. And there's just been a lot of fights and arguments between those two. The plans that I have for myself and the plans God has for me. There's just been like they've been at each other, because I'm like, God, I had plans for my life. Like I had plans of how this year was gonna be for me, and God was like, nah sis, like that's not gonna happen. My plans are literally going to take off for your life this year, and they don't look anything like what you have planned. So I suggest your plans take a back seat. And my plans are just like to his plans. Nah, I was, I have a better plan. Like I was set and stone on what I wanted this year. Like, you get what I'm saying? And God was like, nope. But anyway, it's been very hard for me. This year has been very hard, and the people who are close to me know how hard this year has been for me. And yes, I've had like good moments that I share on social media. But one thing I've also realized this year, that like, guys, on social media people share what we want you guys to see, but like so much happens behind the scenes. So many guys, there's so much fighting that happens behind the scenes. Like this year I've been fighting for my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this year I've been fighting for my life. So it's just that I understand that people share what they want you guys to see on social media, but like we don't share the hard stuff, the stuff that we go through that are very difficult. And I guess this is one of the reasons why I have this platform, because I want you guys to, I want to share part of myself with you guys. I really just, I feel like, like sharing like difficult things that you go through with other people, it helps to, I don't know, like for me, it helps me to find like relatability in other people as well. And I know that other people find relatability in my stories. There's just so much power in owning your truth and sharing it with people, because like your truth, no matter how hard, no matter how beautiful it is, it will always inspire the people it needs to inspire. So with me owning my truth, I just want to own my truth because I just want to own my truth. Like I'm not ashamed of the things that I go through. I'm not ashamed of, like some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. And just, there's just so much power in, I would, like, guys, I will always advocate for people to own their truths. Like, own your truth, and you inspire someone out there, and other people owning their truths will also inspire me. And, just feeling like life is not rocking me alone. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Life is just being life. And when other people share their stories, it makes me feel like, okay, cool, I can breathe. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, God is not punishing me. It's just life being life. And hopefully when other people hear my stories as well, they feel the same way. So yeah, this year has been a very hard year for me. So last year around this time, I was having the time of my life. So from the month of August to December last year, I was literally having the time of my life. Everything was good. I had a job. I was still, in the final stages of finishing my degree. I was traveling all over South Africa. Okay, I'm lying. I went to like 3 provinces, but that is still traveling. Like, I saw a lot of beautiful places. So yeah, I was traveling all over South Africa. Well, yeah. And I had a healthy bank balance. I was in a good place. Like, I was really, really in a good place. And I was very I was happy. Do you get what I'm saying? And I remember around this time last year, I was saying to myself and just declaring that, around this time next year, I'm going to have my car, I'm going to have my own place, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, I'm going to be in a very healthy and good place. Like, God is going to elevate me, and I can't wait for that. And guys, I was declaring all these things, and it for me, it felt real. Like, I believed that these things were gonna happen for me, because why not? I was already in a good place, so why would God not elevate me even further? Okay, cool. And then in October, I decided to hand in my resignation at work because I was not happy. Even though the money that I was receiving was enough for me at the time, and it made me happy, but I was not happy. Like, every day, like, I would have so much anxiety going to work, and it was just a mess. Like, I was not happy. Like, I was constantly anxious, and guys, I was just not in a good space, like at work, but like, it made me happy because of the money. Like, I stayed because of the money, right? So, but I was like, after that, there was an incident at work that happened, but it didn't happen to me. It happened to my co-worker, but also I was somehow affected by it. And that's when I decided, I was like, nah, I'm gonna resign. I'm not gonna work here anymore. So I handed in my resignation. And when I handed in my resignation, I was not fearful, because I knew that, okay, the year's about to end anyway. So, ooh, guys, did you hear that? The year's about to end anyway, so I just might as well, so much is in store for me in the year 2022, so why not? So yes, I handed in my resignation. I was okay with it, and then I finished my degree also, but I was gonna graduate in March this year, and then so that was nice. So the year 2021 ends. I have all these plans for my life. I believe in God so much, and I'm like, God, I know you're gonna give me a job. Like, I was not worried about that. Like, I was like, God, you're gonna give me a job, God, I'm gonna be happy. I'm still gonna get that car I wanted. I'm still gonna, get my own apartment. Like, the things that I was declaring, they're still going to happen, And unfortunately, God is like, no, because I'm actually sitting outside right now, and I'm not seeing any car. I don't have a job. So yeah, it's just been like a battle, and just feeling like I've missed out on a lot of stuff this year, and just feeling like, yeah, God, your plans are definitely not my plans, because this is not what I had envisioned for myself. And even though in your word you do say that we should declare stuff, and we should speak stuff, and you listen, and there's so much power in the tongue, but I've been speaking, I've been declaring, and I haven't seen the things that I was declaring. And it's hard, it's hard to believe in God for something, and then it doesn't show up when you wanted to show up, or the way you thought it was gonna show up, And guys, seriously, I literally had like a whole plan for this year, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that. And I've been to interviews this year, and literally it's been so hard getting rejected. I feel like I'm even used to it now, because there's this company that I went for an interview at like 4 times, and in all those 4 times they rejected me. And yo guys, I think the second time was the hardest. Like, the second time was very, very hard, but I think the third and the fourth time it wasn't as hard anymore, because then I was able to deal with it and understand that, you know what, like, it's okay, and it's only recently, because you know what else I did? Like, I would stalk the people who would get the jobs. Please don't ask me how I found out, but I would know who got the job, and I would stalk that person, and I would be so jealous. And don't judge me, okay? This is like a very safe space, so don't judge me. But yes, I would be very jealous, and I would stalk them and like watch, sometimes like they would post what happens at their workplace, at that specific company, and they would post and whatever, and I'll be like, oh damn, like that should have been me, like I should have been there. But like, also, it's just only recently when I realized, well, not when I realized, when I was watching a sermon by Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she was just saying that, like, sometimes we want something, but then a different person gets it, and we feel very hurt, and we feel jealous, and we feel hurt and betrayed or whatever. But like, we just need to come to the realization that in as much as God has a plan for your life, God also has a plan for that person's life. And in God's plans for that person was meant to be at that job. That person was meant to get that specific car that you wanted, that specific opportunity that you thought you deserved, and it's like, and looking at it like that, it's like, okay, cool. So okay, it kind of gives me like a sense of like relief that, okay, God, so that means you also have something in store that has my name on it. And yes, there will be other people who are competing for that specific thing, but it has my name, and therefore I'm gonna get it, so it really helps to look at things like that. It's okay, even when I want something, it sometimes just doesn't have my name on it, and I shouldn't literally like feel like the person who got it doesn't deserve it, because that was God's plan for that person, and it just doesn't change just because I want it as well, So it's just that, like, that realization that I had, I think last week or this week, yeah, I don't remember. Fact is, the realization is there, so yes. But yeah, like, this year has been a roller coaster for me. I've had to let my plans take a back seat. I've had to not even take a back seat, but I'm learning to let my plans go, and just release and let God be God. And the plans He has for my life are to prosper me, and they're not to harm me. I wrote a few notes here that I was preparing for this podcast. It's just like a few realizations that I had, and I hope you guys will also take in what resonates with you. And yeah, so I said that the plans I set for myself are also sorry, I said the plans I set for myself, in most cases they're very short-sighted. I plan with my feelings, but I know that God plans with intention. And I plan, the plans that I plan for myself are there to keep me comfortable. I'm not trying to be uncomfortable. Like, I need to be comfortable. So whatever plans I have for myself, they need to keep me comfortable. And I'm just like, I'm realizing that God doesn't work like that. Like, sometimes God's plans for us make us uncomfortable, and within being uncomfortable we grow, and there's just character development. And I'm realizing that God cares about character. God cares about our growth. God doesn't want to see us in one place only. And yes, there will be plans that God sets for us that are very comfortable, but sometimes they'll be very uncomfortable. And sometimes we do need to be uncomfortable in order to move away from things that don't serve us, or that don't, that are just not good for us and that are gonna cause us to grow. Guys, it's, like I'm saying these things, and now that like I'm listening to myself, they sound so easy. Like it's easier said than done, but like I'm feeling these words, and now that I'm actually reflecting on them, it's like, yeah, these are things that I should have kept in my mind when I felt like I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. I'm missing out on going to events. I'm missing out on working with amazing people. Because I'm just like, God, I really feel like right now you're putting me in a very uncomfortable position, and this position is causing me to reflect and grow. And I know that had you not placed me where I am right now, I wouldn't be sitting here. Like I wouldn't be having this discussion with you guys. And I'm just trying to look at the whole situation of me letting go of my plans and letting God take over my life in a different perspective, and not in a perspective of saying, oh damn, like, but God, like, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. Like my life is over, my life is a mess, I don't like how my life is looking like right now. But I know that God, in the midst of all of what is happening right now, you're working, and you're working through me and in me. And I really do hope that after all of this growth and this uncomfortability that I'm going through, I'm gonna see the results of it all. So just realizing that just makes me feel better, and just like resting in God's promises and His plans for my life. I'm learning to trust in God and lean in His promises, because God is not man that He should lie. He will always use what was meant to harm us for our good, and all things will always work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And not to say like that the stagnation that's happening in my life right now is caused by people. No, it's not. But I do feel like that whatever pause God has put over my life is gonna work together for my good. It's not gonna harm me, it's not gonna break me. And I was also listening to Gracefully Broken by Tasha Cobbs, and it just reminded me that God doesn't break us to what does it say? Gracefully broken. God doesn't break us to kill us. It doesn't say that. But God breaks us to position us. He breaks us to promote us. He breaks us to put us in the right place. And I just want to say that this year, even though it has been so hard on me, but I've grown so much, especially spiritually. I'm more closer to God. I see things in a different light. I gave birth to such an amazing platform that is gonna do amazing things. This podcast, so much from this podcast is gonna come, and so many things are gonna come from this podcast, and I can't wait for you guys to bear witness to the work that God is gonna do in my life. And guys, even though it's hard, even though I would actually prefer God to bring about certain situations or certain miracles and certain blessings wrapped in like a beautiful gift box, and like a red ribbon, and presented like very gracefully towards me. But understand that all of this is just to build me and to build me into being the person I've been called and created to be. Because sometimes we stay in uncomfortable situations and we don't grow, and when we don't grow, we don't get to witness God in a different level and in a different glory. Do you get what I'm saying? So at least that's how I'm looking at the situation and at my situation. And sometimes it's hard. I don't want to lie to you. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed because I feel like, yo God, this day again, like I'm gonna be sitting at home again, like same thing, like I even like refrain from waking up early at times, because I'm just like, okay, at least if I wake up a bit late, or if I wake up a bit late during the day, at least I have half the day to live through, and then my family comes back home, and then I'm not alone anymore. So it's more bearable that way. But like it's hard, guys, and I know I'm saying all these things and I'm sharing my realizations, but I just want to tell you that it's not easy. Like, it's hard, and sometimes I don't even feel like praying. I feel like, yo, God, but I've been praying. I've been praying. Like, when are you coming through? Like, when are you giving me my answered prayers? Like, don't you think this character development, like, is enough, you know? But I'm also just realizing that God knows what he's doing, you know, and if this is what he wants me to go through, then so be it. But I know that, like, his promises are yes and amen, and his promises are way bigger than my situation, and he will fix the situation up. He will cover up the score. All the things that I feel like I missed out on, God will double all of that, and I'm going to experience his glory again. And in as much as I am experiencing his glory right now in a very painful way, guys, it is painful. Like, I've been going through a lot this year. Like, this year has been rough on me. It's been tough emotionally, mentally. It's been very, very hard. But I know that in as much as I'm experiencing God's glory in such a, like, difficult way, but I'm still gonna experience it in a very glorious and in a very good way. So, in a very beautiful way. And God is gonna make up for all of this, because the word also does say that the pain you're feeling right now is nothing compared to the glory you're gonna receive. So I'm really holding on to those words. I'm holding on to God's word, and sometimes it's not easy, sometimes it's easy, but I know that he's going through all of this with me. But also, I just feel I do just want you guys to understand and know that it's okay to feel like God's plans sucks. I don't know how many times I've told God that, God, your plan sucks. Your plan sucks. I think mine was way better. But I was also reading Crazy Faith, and Mike says that even some of God's lowest thoughts are way higher than your thoughts. So it's just like one of those, things that remind me that, okay, God, yes, your plan sucks, but it's still way better than the plan that I had for myself, because your plans see way beyond, and yeah. So yes, it's okay to feel like God's plan sucks and that he needs to reevaluate. Jesus also felt the same way at some point, especially towards his crucifixion. He did feel like, God, is there another cup I can take on? Like, this one is a bit heavy on me. But he still went through with it because he understood what his suffering is gonna produce. And sometimes I understand that, okay, so my suffering or my stagnation for this year produced this podcast. It produced me, getting closer to God. It produced me, like having conversations with people I never thought I would speak to. It produced me just growing in faith and as a person. And it's still going to produce so much more, because, God, I know that you're not finished with my story. Yes, it sucks. This chapter sucks. I can't wait to get through with it. But, like, there's so many days where I just sit by myself and I imagine how it's gonna be when I'm done with this phase. And especially now, because we're in a new season, I'm actually very excited for this new season, because I'm watching trees grow their leaves back. I'm watching plants blossom. I'm watching days get warmer, and the days are more beautiful. And I'm just like, God, if you can do it for the atmosphere, like if you can do it for Earth, what more are you gonna do for my life? Because again, you know how, like, when it's winter, autumn, everything is so dry. The trees don't have leaves. They're not beautiful. Like, they're not, like, it's just so dry. And you can tell that, like, okay, this season, it's not a season for trees to blossom and whatever. So I also felt like that. Like, I also feel like that the season is not for me to to be out and about, and as hard as that is to accept and to say, but I realize that it's necessary, that, like, God is a God who works in seasons. Even though he's still the same good God, but the seasons change, but God remains the same. But seasons change, and that means that the seasons in my life will also change. And right now I'm in a very, like, not so great and aesthetically pleasing season, But because we're in a new season also, like it's summer, spring, things are starting to blossom, and like bit by bit, trees are starting to blossom, and they have like their leaves. And yeah, I'm also trying and I am holding on to that faith that like things will blossom in my life, that things will make sense again, and I will go to those events that I wanted to go to. I will work with those people I wanted to work with this year. I will get that car. I will get my apartment. I will still travel. It's like, God, you can't introduce me to something you can't keep up with, and yes, I was declaring all those things, but like it was just not their time yet, and that's okay. I'm realizing that like sometimes we do declare things, and just because they're not happening when we had hoped that they would happen doesn't mean they're not going to happen. And it's like, okay, God, your timing is perfect, and sometimes it sucks. Okay, it sucks. I'm gonna be honest, but it's perfect. It's way better than what I think I know, because again, we plan with our feelings, and God plans with intention. God sees far beyond what we see when we plan. We plan for our comfortability, and not to say God hates us being comfortable. Like He doesn't. He does want us to be comfortable, but sometimes He just needs to shake us up a little, so that like we can be the people we've been called and created to be. So yes, I'm very stagnant right now in my life. I'm very, very stagnant, but I'm hoping and I'm praying for a miracle. I'm praying for that breakthrough. I'm holding on, guys, as hard as it is. I'm holding on to God's word. I'm holding on to God's promises. And like, there have been times in my life where it isn't really and things were just so quiet. And God got up, like God got up, and He did what He does best. And He really just like covered up the score, and yeah, like he fulfilled His promises in my life. So I believe that He's still gonna do it again. So this year involved a lot of pain, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of wanting to die, a lot of just wanting to give up, not do this life thing. But it also came with a lot of realizations, a lot of beautiful moments with my family and my friends, God, my ancestors, myself. It just came with a lot of affirmations as well. And I just want to say that I appreciate the people who, like, on social media, I'm getting emotional, but like some of my mutuals on social media, they would like send through like job applications, and I would apply, and even though I don't get a reply back, it sucks. But I just do appreciate the fact that like there are people out there who are not my family or my friends who think of me. And I really do appreciate all of you guys. And if you're listening, shout out to you. You know who you are. And I really hope God continues to bless you, and He don't stop sending me those job applications until I get a job. But in closing, just anyone who's going through a tough time, anyone who feels like God is not listening, anyone who feels stagnant, you are not alone, and that is not your final chapter. Like, God is still gonna do amazing things in you and through you, and I hope that you hold on. I hope God gives you the strength to hold on, because sometimes holding on it gets hard. But I realized that this year, I was telling my boyfriend that like, I don't know how I got through this year. It was not by my own strength. Truly, 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 it was not by my own strength. But I do feel like God was granting me those, like, just as long as you get through the day. So but get through today. That's how I feel like I've been surviving. That, okay, get through today. Let's just get through today and hope for a better tomorrow. Just hoping and hoping and hoping that my breakthrough comes. It's what keeps me going. And I hope that God also grants you that, the same, spirit of hope, and, remaining prayerful also. And I know it gets hard to pray, and yeah, I know. But I just want to say that I'm praying for everyone who is going through a tough time, who just feels like God is silent. Like, I hope God speaks and He reminds you that like He still has a plan for your life, and He's still gonna fulfill his promises for you. So yes, this episode was a lot for me, but yeah. Also, if you guys have Netflix, please watch this other show. It's titled Look Both Ways. I don't want to speak much about it, but it is gonna affirm you. It affirmed me that things always work out. It may not be the way we want things to work out, but like things will always work out. It may not be how we had planned for it to work out, but even if you take the longer route sometimes, even if you take a detour, but you will still reach your destination where God has destined your life to head and to be at. You are still gonna get there, even though it looks a whole lot different from what you had imagined, and the steps leading to that point look different from what you had planned or what you had mapped out for yourself. So yeah, just look both ways. And also, if you want to, you can listen to Gracefully Broken. It's by Tasha Cobbs. It's a very, very beautiful song. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. Please don't forget to share this podcast and share with your friends, your family. Also shout out to our Instagram community. It is growing, road to 300. That is amazing. You guys are amazing. Do you know that? I love you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. So yes, I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday and a beautiful week, and I hope you get your miracles this week, and I hope you get that breakthrough. And yes, I really hope this week becomes a week of answered prayers. Truly, truly, truly. I really want that for you. Alrighty, from me to you, I love you so much, and thank you so much for listening. See you guys next time. Bye.